On October 21, 2023, at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi, Islam Makhachev brought an emphatic end to his rivalry with Alexander Volkanovski in their highly anticipated rematch for the lightweight championship. Unlike their first grueling 5-round battle, Makhachev wasted no time in making a statement. Volkanovski had stepped up on just 11 days' notice to replace Charles Oliveira, but Makhachev proved he was ready for anyone. Just over 3 minutes into the first round, Makhachev disguised a devastating high head kick that bypassed Volkanovski's guard and landed flush on the temple. As the Australian champion collapsed against the fence, Makhachev followed up with a clinical barrage of ground-and-pound strikes, forcing referee Mark Goddard to stop the fight at the 3:06 mark. This stunning first-round knockout not only settled the debate over who was the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world but also solidified Islam Makhachev's legacy as a dominant champion capable of finishing elite opponents on the feet as well as on the mat. On February 26, 2022, at UFC Fight Night 202, Islam Makhachev delivered a surgical and dominant performance against the charismatic veteran Bobby Green. Taking the fight on just 10 days' notice after Beneil Dariush withdrew due to injury, Green stepped into a 160-pound catchweight bout, but he quickly found himself overwhelmed by Makhachev's elite grappling. After a brief striking exchange where Makhachev remained perfectly composed, he initiated a clinch, forced Green against the fence, and executed a seamless takedown. Once on the mat, Makhachev's control was absolute. He systematically transitioned to a mounted position and unleashed a relentless barrage of ground and pound. Unable to escape the Dagestani handcuffs and suffocating pressure, Green was forced to cover up as the referee stepped in to stop the fight at 3:23 of the first round. This TKO victory marked Makhachev's 10th consecutive win and served as the final proof needed to earn him his long-awaited shot at the UFC lightweight title. On June 8, 2011, long before he entered the UFC, a young Islam Makhachev faced Martyros Grigorian at M1 Selection 2011, Eastern Europe Finals in Ukraine. This fight served as a showcase for Islam's elite sambo background and his ability to dominate opponents on the ground with surgical precision. Throughout the match, Islam controlled the grappling exchanges, neutralizing Grigorian's offense with superior positioning and relentless pressure. In the first round, Islam successfully maneuvered into a dominant position and locked in a tight rear naked choke, forcing Grigorian to tap out at the 2:52 mark. This victory was a crucial stepping stone in Islam's early career, extending his undefeated record and proving that he possessed the same suffocating submission skills that would eventually make him a world champion on the global stage. On March 5, 2022, at UFC 272, Islam Makhachev took a short-notice catchweight bout against the incredibly durable Renato Moicano after his original opponent, Beneil Dariush, withdrew. Despite Moicano stepping up on only 4 days' notice, Makhachev showed him no mercy, delivering a 5-round masterclass in dominance. From the opening bell, Islam utilized his improved striking to pepper Moicano with stiff jabs and heavy left hands before inevitably taking the fight to the mat. For 25 minutes, Makhachev systematically dismantled the Brazilian with suffocating top control and brutal ground and pound, nearly finishing the fight several times. Moicano showed immense heart by surviving until the final bell, but the scorecards reflected a total blowout, with Islam earning a lopsided unanimous decision, 49-46, 49-46, and 50-44. This performance was a crucial final step for Makhachev, as it extended his winning streak to 10 and left the UFC with no choice but to grant him a shot at the vacant lightweight title. On June 1, 2024, at UFC 302, Islam Makhachev defended his lightweight championship against the legendary Diamond Dustin Poirier in a grueling, back-and-forth war that pushed the champion to his absolute limits. In front of a raucous New Jersey crowd, the two fighters engaged in a high-level tactical battle where Poirier showcased vastly improved takedown defense and dangerous boxing, even opening a deep cut on Islam's forehead with a sharp elbow. As the fight entered the 5th and final round, the tension was at its peak with the scorecards remarkably close. In a moment of pure brilliance, Makhachev executed a creative golf swing ankle pick to bring Poirier to the mat, immediately transitioning into a deep Darce choke. Despite Poirier's legendary toughness, the squeeze was irresistible, forcing the submission at 2:42 of round 5. This victory was a defining moment for Makhachev, as it marked his third successful title defense and proved he possessed the championship heart to overcome significant adversity and finish an elite opponent in the championship rounds. On October 22, 2022, most complete lightweight on the planet. On October 30, 2021, at UFC 267 in Abu Dhabi, Islam Makhachev delivered one of the most clinical performances of his career against the dangerous New Zealand striker Dan, the Hangman, Hooker. Taking the fight on short notice after Rafael dos Anjos withdrew, Hooker was expected to provide a tough test for Islam's wrestling, but the bout proved to be a one-sided masterclass. Less than a minute into the first round, Makhachev executed a perfectly timed double-leg takedown right in front of his mentor Khabib's corner. Once the fight hit the mat, Islam's control was absolute. He moved into side control and isolated Hooker's arm with terrifying precision. While Khabib shouted instructions from the sidelines, Islam locked in a brutal Kimura submission, forcing Hooker to scream in pain and tap out at the 2:25 mark of round 1. This dominant victory extended Islam's winning streak to 9 and made it impossible for the UFC to ignore him as the top contender for the lightweight title.